Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hire and Fire podcast series. I'm Jeremy Miller, owner of Pirate Consulting, here with another message. And today's message is this. It's not our fault. What the hell are you blaming us for? Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So we have some interesting developments in the staffing firms recently, and it has to do with the fact that our clients are hiring like crazy, as you would guess, not surprising. But they've been doing this for long enough now that it seems as though they're starting to experience a little bit of pain regarding the process, which happens, right? But firms are overmatched with their staffing needs. That's obviously a lot of the times we get involved. We do a lot of IT related staffing, which has to do with technical expertise, which makes it tough on talent acquisition and or HR to keep up with those jobs even more so. So we get involved, and if we're doing permanent placement or contract to hire, we're obviously trying to help them find long-term people. But if it's permanent stuff, we're charging fees up front. And what's happening is they're starting to get a lot of pain with the fact that they're giving us frankly, too much money. That we're not charging too much. We're just doing our job and helping them fill these positions, but it's starting to hit their budgets pretty hard, right? And you can understand that. Talent acquisition has a certain budget, or each department has a certain budget based upon how much they can spend for hiring. And these are being stretched now. Thousands, hundreds of thousands, whatever the dollars is based on the company is being spent on bringing these folks in. And that in and of itself can cause a lot of pain. So naturally, they can struggle on how they're going to interface with firms like ours, even if we're helping them staff initiatives, even if the hiring managers themselves are loving us for doing so. Procurement, HR, whichever department can have a lot of pain regarding the cost to do so. Then in addition, firms are starting to realize that some of them have some retention issues. So they're bringing people in at mass, trying to hit these hiring goals, to hit their business goals, but they're having turnover or even just a little bit of turnover. So when you're already stretched because of your budget on spending to bring people in, and now you're having those people that are coming in be expensive on salary, paying firms to get them in the door, and they're sometimes leaving, then there's a lot of pain associated. So we've been getting a little bit of grief actually from some of our customers, and more than 2 or 3. So it seems to be a pattern on the fact that they're either finding some fatigue in the budget with spending, or they're figuring out that they can't do this long term. Use firms to bring people in and have retention problems on top of it. We normally tend to try and convince them to go contract to hire in those situations. Most industry standard agreements that are contract to hire are what they are to avoid the client having to cut a huge check for the placement fee of perm. Yes, there's a side benefit of the try before you buy for both the hiring manager and the candidate, but nonetheless, this can avoid spending $30,000 on a hire and worrying about them leaving. Maybe you bring them in on contract to hire, give them those 6 months to learn and experience your environment. Then you can talk about converting them. And obviously, if they convert at that point, they know what they're walking into. They've been there 6 months, etc. There's a few other tips and tricks on how you can handle this. We can help you in any regard. Hit us up on social media. Throw something at us in a comment on one of these show pages. And either some of our recruiters or account management staff can help you in some of these areas that you might be experiencing. And then stay tuned for another episode of the Hire and Fire podcast video series brought to you by Pirate Consulting. And we'll come back again soon with me. Thank you for listening to the Hire Fire podcast brought to you by Pirate Consulting. Check us out on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or online at pirateconsulting.com. That's PIRA consulting.com.